Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video, and if you're new, thanks for the curiosity. This video I wanted to take a moment and talk about KOAs. If you are a subscriber, you'll know that this is our first season RV camping. Based on the last video that I did, you'll know that we had the opportunity to stay at KOAs for a few nights this year. Outside of our trip to Bemidji, most of our stays at KOAs this year were overnight stays in the midst of travel days. But that Bemidji trip, we stayed for 2 nights, and that's where we took my brother-in-law's kids camping for the first time. And I've been reflecting a lot on our experiences at KOAs, and I jotted down some reasons, and I just wanted to spend a few minutes to talk about why, for us as newbies to the RV world, or just camping in general, KOAs this year has been pretty beneficial. And so here are some reasons why I think that is. So first, KOAs are, for most part, close to major destinations and major attractions. When we stayed at the KOA in Bemidji, that was roughly half an hour away from Itasca State Park, which is where the Mississippi headwaters are. And that was definitely a major attraction, because you could go and you could cross the headwaters and then just say hey, I crossed the Mississippi, without having to cross the larger Mississippi further down south, right? When we stayed at the Forest or Madison KOA a couple times, and it's in the name. It's right outside, 20 minutes outside of Madison, Wisconsin, which is the capital of Wisconsin. And so we did it both on travel days, so we never really got to go to Madison. But if you were there in Madison, you had something to do in Madison, then there's a KOA right there. And then the last one was a Streetsboro KOA, which is just outside, a few minutes outside of Cleveland. So all these are examples of, depending on what you like to do, depending on how you like to travel, KOAs are generally good options if you want to be near some major attractions or major cities. And so that was one of the benefits. The second one is that booking was super easy. The organization itself, they have an app, the booking engine is on the app, and it's a consistent booking process. They have the same look and feel and the same booking experience across all 500 plus of their properties. But I think having a single point of access to an entire network of campgrounds is certainly helpful. And also for last minute bookings, like I had to do a couple times when I stayed at the KOAs. The 2 times in Madison and the one in Streetsboro, all those theoretically were last minute bookings. So the last minute bookings that we made all happened to be on travel days when we're on our way home. And so that was super helpful to know that the KOAs are available and we know what to expect when we get there. Speaking of knowing what to expect, third reason in my mind why KOAs have been super helpful for us this year is that it's a consistent experience. As RV newbies, I think that brings about a bit of a sense of comfort. You don't really have to investigate too much. You know that if I'm booking at a KOA, I'm gonna get these types of options of sites. If I really need full hookups, I'm gonna get that. Throughout the season, when I was booking at KOAs, one of the things that helped me gravitate towards them was that it was always a consistent experience. I know what to expect when I get to a KOA campground. I know that they have different types of hookup offerings. I know that the amenities that are going to be there. So it was really comforting to know that I could pull up a KOA app and just have a really good understanding already of what I'm going to expect from a campground standpoint, from a service standpoint, and from an amenity standpoint. So that was also really good. Also, I would say, I think just from an amenity standpoint, if you have kids, I feel like KOAs are really good at entertaining kids. I saw it on our trip to Bemidji. There was a jungle gym that the kids played on. We played a round of mini golf, and that was pretty fun. And then we also were able to get in some pool time. In addition to getting out and exploring, when we're kind of just relaxing at the campground, it's good to know that the kids have stuff to do to keep them busy so that they're not bugging us. And so I think those are some of the ancillary benefits that come with it. And then again, knowing that that most of those amenities are going to be there, that just makes it much more helpful in knowing what you're going to get. Lastly, and this is something that I thought about in the beginning of the season, but and actually throughout the season, but I never really pulled the trigger on. Now that I think back on it, it'll probably be worthwhile in the future to potentially buy it and see how it works out, or see how much use I could get out of it. And that is the Value Cards reward program. And there are some benefits that I'll quickly share here. But the idea is that it's $33 a year. And with that, the main benefits are you get 10% off your daily registration rate. So 10% off your rates. You get some reward points, typically with a rewards program, and then some free nights of camping on specific weekends that they designate that they give for free, which I'm sure will be quite competitive. $33 a year. If you think about the rates that you typically pay, depending on where you stay, I think you could probably make that money back after like maybe 5 to 10 nights of camping. Anything on top of that would just be savings for you. I thought about it. I wasn't sure at the beginning of the season whether or not I was gonna need it as much, but then as the season wore on, and then KOAs proved themselves to be a nice safety net, that came in, and the thought around just having it and getting the benefits from it just became more and more appealing. So those are just some of the top reasons why we thought KOAs were really helpful for us as RV newbies in our first season. Cat. But then there's also other considerations as well. I think from a price standpoint, KOAs tend to be a bit more pricey. Usually, we found ourselves paying anywhere between $40 and $60 a night when there are probably other options, especially if you like state parks and stuff like that. That's like, so much cheaper than KOAs. That convenience and the comfort that it offers have just been really helpful in our first season. Now, as we travel more and more and we get to know other campgrounds more and more, do we think we'll still need KOA as much? Not sure. But again, that may not be the role that it plays for us. It might be a continuous role of when we're in a bind, when we need a really good place to stay and we know it's going to be a good experience or a consistent experience, we go to the KOAs. So just something to keep in mind if you're starting out. This may not be your experience, or if you're much more hardcore about planning than I am, then you might not even need KOAs. So anyway, that's just some quick thoughts for this week, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.